we're going to go ahead and remove this first. If you were to come down along here, you can squeeze on these two little tabs and then draw this away. I usually like to do both just so I can have plenty of room. There we are. Pop it out of there. Awesome. So now with that out of the way, let's continue on to grabbing this overflow hose. Just going to pull this off of there, set it aside. Now we're going to remove the wiring for this. A little squeeze tab, give it a nice little squeeze, and pull it off. Set that aside. Now we're going to remove our two mounting bolts. So now that we got those out, let's go ahead and remove this ground wire right here. Get that ground wire out of the way. Now we need to lift this up. Looking down in between the reservoir and the actual battery itself, you're going to be able to see that there's a tab. If you can get down in there with a pry bar or even a long screwdriver, just kind of pull on that a little bit to separate the two, and then go ahead and lift up. There we are. That coolant reservoir out of the way, we're going to be able to flex this plenty enough to get this cooling fan out. There it is, friends. Okay, friends, now it's time to get our brand new fan in here. Real quick, I just wanted to mention the little pitons down across the bottom. If you were to look down and inside here, along where the radiator is, you're going to find one hole and one over there, two holes. As we put this down, we're going to make sure that we line those up, and then of course we'll put in our top bolts once it's ready. There we are. All right. With both of those in there, let's go ahead and start them in. Let's go ahead and put in our reservoir. We got the area where it needs to slide in. That's going to go into this area along here. Slide it right down, listen for it to click, and then give it a nice tug. Pull the hose off of this, set that aside. Now we're just going to go ahead and put it onto the brand new one here. Slides right on. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and put on our ground wire, and then snug it up. Let's go ahead and put that overflow hose right onto the radiator. Now let's snug these up. Let's take our overflow hose and slide it right inside its mounting point. Now let's connect in our wiring. Make sure you give it a nice tug. Pay attention to this area right along here, how it's got a little groove. That's going to fit right up along here. So we're just going to come right up and over it, slide it on, and then give it a nice little push. Make sure you give it a wiggle, make sure it's secured. Now let's reconnect this on. Slides in there. Put this right here. Right up along this area. Okay, friends, now all you have to do is go ahead and start up your car and put on your air conditioning. Essentially what we want to happen is for the cooling fans to turn on, just so we can ensure that everything's plugged in the way that it needs to be.